Hi guys, my name is Jillian and I am doing the vocabulary awareness chart as my strategy. As you can see, I used a 7th grade TEK for a 7th grade classroom. I think this TEK works perfectly because it talks about using print or digital resources to figure out, the understanding and the meaning of the vocabulary word and its context, and that's kind of what this chart is allowing us to do. I'm also using a website along with this video that kind of gives a little more context for the teacher in terms of the awareness strategy. And this is how the chart is going to be used. So basically you have, you put the vocabulary term and you can decide the student can decide how well or not they learn the term. And they also can put the definition, whether it's in context or not. And then they follow it up with an example. So here's the chart. And I just think this is a great chart to use just to gauge where students are at in their learning and kind of decide how well they need to be studying these vocabulary terms or how rigorous we need to make these terms. And I think that's another great thing about this vocabulary chart. The teacher has all the agency and she can kind of decide what she wants the students to know. So here is the website for the strategy. And I think this is a great website because this teacher is just giving you tips on how this strategy would be most successful. So one of the things she talks about is how this chart is just so great for differentiated learning because, again, like I said before, the teacher has the agency in all of this. She's deciding what she wants the student to learn, what she wants the student to go over, or, how rigorous she wants the terms to be. If you want the student to be a little more advanced, I feel like this is a great chart to be able to execute that idea. And another great thing she talks about too is how this also can be used for group work. It's a great group work strategy for the students to kind of be able to decide, to be able to help each other. Some students have a little different knowledge. Each student has a little bit of different knowledge that they could bring to the table in this activity. And that's another reason why I think this activity is such a great one. It can be modified, it can be shared, and it can be, helpful to each of these students as they are going through this book. I also think this is a great strategy to maybe use before. I know it is a BDA activity, but I think it would probably be great to focus on before the activity starts, just to give students a chance to, understand, get a little bit more understanding. So now we are going to, kind of see how this chart works as a real world example. I recently read Dear Martin for the Literature Circle, so I'm just going to use one of the vocabulary words from that book. We can use stereotype. Let's see. And we'll use that as our vocabulary word. So let me see if I can write it down here. I don't know if you guys are able to see this. So we are going to write it down. And the great thing about this is you were able to write this word down. And then the students are able to, excuse my ugly writing, I might have to erase this and fix it. The students are able to write down this word, and then they're able to decide how familiar they are with this word that the teacher has given them. So stereotype is our word, and let's just say our student is kind of familiar with it. So they've heard it before, but, they have never really seen it used. And so the next step they would take is to look at the story and write the definition either in context or out of context. And then they can use an example of this word, which they will probably be best for them to get from the text. Or, really any real world example would be good. And yes, here we go. My video's a little late, but well, thank you guys for watching my video, and I cannot wait to hear feedback from you guys. Thank you.